Gaming is for friends.
I thought this music was so epic.
We all like talking about gaming.
The only thing that I disliked about the old game.
There are so many different conversations started by gaming.
Oh, I forgot. I have you.
This could be anything.
Okay, walk in that green goo. Oh, nope. That's a no.
Anything gaming podcast. Hi, welcome to Anything Gaming, and we're at the podcast that we talk about anything gaming, but today in particular we're talking about the Xbox showcase that was just done. There's so many big games and we're going to go through all of them. As always, Woody, how are you and what have you been playing?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing all right. In fact, I'll tell you this. Rather than tell you what I'm playing, I'll tell you what I'm not playing. And I hate to say this to you guys. I don't know if I can go through Pikmin 3.
Oh.
Yeah. It's just not rubbing me the right way. Okay, first off, I suck at it, so let's get that out of the way first. But there's just, I don't know. It just, I don't find myself wanting to play it.
It becomes, I think the thing with Pikmin that I found it is a bit tedious. It kind of like a lot of rubber banding. Go and get this, bring this back here, it's
a chore.
Yeah.
Like it's just one of those things when you do chores. I'm like, and I love the music in the game. You know, Nintendo games, they usually bring in on music, and like the characters seem nice and everything. I just don't see myself getting past day 6. Of Pikmin 3, to tell you the truth, but
I thought it could be more puzzly. You know,
potentially, yeah. I mean, that would have, well, not so much puzzly, but like more traditionally puzzly, if that makes any sense. Which I don't know if it does, but yeah.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
But I will say this: I did get a new game off Early Access Steam that I do like. It's called Celico. I've been playing some of that. It uses the GZ Doom game engine.
Okay.
So like it's a 3D world, but 2D sprites are what you're shooting at.
Yeah, right.
So I've been enjoying that. But yeah, other than that, not too much. Have you been playing anything great?
I've been trying to play Dredge. Have you ever heard of this game?
Yes, I did hear about that. That popped up on my feed. How is it?
Yeah, it's a very popular game, and I wanted to know why it was so popular, so I decided to play it a bit. And I don't know, it's got a very Pikmin 3 vibe to it. I just found it to be like a chore-driven game. You go out, fish some fish, come back, get some money, go out, fish some fish. It's probably, if you didn't like Pikmin 3, I don't recommend going towards Dredge. It's got a nice cozy vibe to it, but besides that, I do find it a little bit tedious, I guess is a word. It's well made, and I mean, it's a nice kind of, everything works well, but just tedious. So yeah.
Well, like you said, it's that cozy vibe. It's that vibe of just like, you know, you just stick to one task and you keep doing it. I don't understand the appeal, but I recognize the appeal. So.
Oh, sometimes I do get addicted to those type of games. Don't get me wrong, but they have to rub you the right way, and they have to get you really involved with the game, and you kind of obsess over going to do that task in the game, and sometimes they miss with that really badly, or it might have just missed with me. That could be another thing. Well, big Xbox week.
Yes, the showcase.
Yeah.
Xbox is making video games for us to play. Honestly, I would definitely consider this one of the more positive ones. It seems very just the games. Here's the game. Here's some games.
I was going to say it almost feels PlayStation-like. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of, right?
You're right, yeah. It's just got a bit of that vibe of PlayStation. Is there one in particular that grabbed you like from the start?
Oh, like a head and shoulders above. I want Doom: The Dark Ages. Like, if I had it right now, we would not be taught, or I'd be talking. Xbox, great. You know, like I would just be playing that. Like that's definitely up there. Of course, you know, I've always loved Doom, so more Doom is great Doom, and less Doom is bad Doom. But there's
But what was your opinion on that trailer that they dropped? Did you see it being a better or worse version of Doom? Have they gone back to some of their roots in some of this?
not a no, no. I think they're just building off of what they have established in Eternal. If
Okay.
anything, I mean, like the shield there, stuff like that. It's weird though because I guess it's supposed to have a more medieval, back in the day kind of vibe to it, but you still got guns. Like the super shotgun is visible in the game,
Mm-hmm.
so they'll probably just use like old time guns, you know, like old, just like flintlocks or something. Which is fine. Hey, Doomified, that works for me. So I'm definitely like that is probably of everything I've seen today, and there's still some other good ones that we'll get into. There's a couple even surprises that I saw, but
It's
so
like
far,
Doom does Tiny Tina for me. It's like got that a bit of that Tiny Tina kind of vibe to it. You know how Tiny Tina is Borderlands, but they've taken it backwards to the old style. But they've got these modern type of guns that they've made them look old. That's the vibe they've gone for. It doesn't look exactly the same, but yeah, it looks really, it looks dark and deep. It's like you're going right into the guts of hell, as I imagine it would be. It looks more gruesome to me than what Doom Eternal does.
Doom Eternal was kind of bright looking back. You know, it was very. Oh, you're still in hell. You know, there's blood, guts. Like this, the urban levels in Doom Eternal were just awesome. They were gross, but it was very colorful. There were colors everywhere. Doom Dark Ages doesn't seem like it has that.
Yeah, it's like they've gone. That's where I say they brought it back to the roots a little bit, where they've given it that older, darker feel to it. Because when I think of Doom, the big difference between Doom and the predecessor Wolfenstein was the Wolfenstein was so bright, it was like a Lego kit, and then Doom was so dark, and you could hardly see the guys shooting at you. You know, so I feel like they've really gone with those lighting contrasts that brought the Doom series alive in this first place.
No, and I'm looking forward to it. No, yeah, and you hit the nail on the head when you played Doom, like original Doom. Yeah, there was levels that were just straight brown. Like the walls are different shades of brown, the floor is brown. Just brown all over.
I don't know anyone that didn't turn their monitors up, like their brightness up in the Doom setting, so they could just see the game. Some of the levels I feel like I had to turn up just that little bit brighter than normal.
I think the best remaster, one of the best, and like this remastering deserves a real tip, was the Doom 64 re-release. If you play Doom 64 on the Nintendo 64, you have to crank. You not only have to bring the brightness up on the game, you have to adjust it on your television.
Yeah.
Just to be able to see where you're going, what you do. I don't know how anyone could play it on default at all. Like, it doesn't seem possible. Luckily, though, for the re-release, yeah, it's got like decent camera correction.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I don't know. I think it looks exciting for a Doom game anyway. I'm pretty excited about that. For me, the one that really grabbed me was Indiana Jones, but I want to talk about Call of Duty first.
Of course.
Yeah, you know where I'm going with this.
Oh yes, let's get it out of the way. Yeah, Black Ops 6. To be fair, though, and I'm not a huge.
You're broken up a little. I'll cut this up until you come back. We've having some the new one. I think some of the things that are. Hopefully you don't drop out. The new one that I think is a bit interesting because they've gone for that whole 9/11 period, and I don't know. Is America ready for? Apparently, there's a level that you play in the Twin Towers as they're going down. Is America ready for that? Is it too soon? Like that seems like a really sketchy part of time.
All right, I feel like I mean, I don't want to be put on the spot here, but personally, if I saw a video, I mean, I've played a Red Alert 2 level
Mm-hmm.
where you can take over the World Trade Center as the invading Russians and
Yeah.
slaughter American troops.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, now, granted, this was 9 months, 10 months before 9/11.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so
But they didn't know.
context is
They didn't
key.
know. Yeah.
Right.
But
But
this
honestly, like, to me, no, because how many played video games where important, things have been destroyed. And if we're talking about, that's fine. There's video game levels where you play through Pearl Harbor.
mm,
Like that's a mission. You're
yeah.
shooting down Japanese fighter planes during Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, I guess, but I suppose that you're not knowing that person so closely.
Right.
That
Okay.
was
So that was
50 years or
1940.
okay, a long time
Yeah,
ago.
that would be 1942, December 7th, 1942. Um, and I don't know, Rising Sun came out in what? That was GameCube, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 60 years.
Mm.
Let's just say in between that. So yeah.
Yeah,
Whereas
this is only like 10 or
23, 20, yeah, 20. Well, by the time it comes out, it'll be closer to 24 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. I suppose it's probably just enough time. But yeah, I'm interested to see if there's any backlash from that point of view.
I want to see what the response is from gamers that are like 18 years old that weren't around for 9/11.
On another part, I think it's almost important in another way as well to kind of have these things. You can't just wipe history. So you kind of have to like not so much celebrate it, but tell how it was. Like you have to have these things. And 19-year-old kids aren't going to go and watch documentaries. So they're going to get their factual information from places like Call of Duty that I am not factual, but they're going to find out about things that happened in the past from Call of Duty and things like that. You know what I mean?
At the very least, I'll offer a midway. Have a level that you might be near ground zero.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, and games are doing this now anyway. Just have a disclaimer. This predicts serious events that happened recent memory they may have been a part of. True story. My mother is one of the most introverted people you will ever meet. She will not leave her apartment ever. It's impossible to get her out of the apartment. She doesn't like going anywhere, especially alone. But her sister trip to New York.
Yeah.
And my aunt has a picture of my mother, and it's her and a couple other people, and they're right in that front center, like that plaza of the World Trade Center.
Ugh.
You just see the buildings above them. This was 3 months before 9/11.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah. Now, if I told her, because that means something to her, so I don't know how she would react if I was saying, "Yeah, I'm playing this video game. You're running around 9/11," and like that. I don't think she would get triggered, but she'd be like, "Oh,
yeah,
like that means something."
It's not really, yeah, and that's fair enough. Anyway, back into the gaming world of gaming because that's what we do.
Yeah, let's get away from this.
Yeah. Indiana Jones, the new Indiana. I really am excited. This is the game that I am pumped. It's coming out at the end of this year, and Game Pass first day release, which is even better for all of us Game Pass people. It looks like it carries on from the time period after or around the original 3 Indiana Joneses, not the new ones that no one likes all that much, but the original. And that I think that's what kind of interests me about the game. I mean, if it has an Uncharted play to it, I think it's going to be amazing.
And why not? I mean, truth be told, Indiana Jones has had some pretty good games come out. There's the trilogy for Super Nintendo, which was good. I can't think of I think it was like Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine. I could be wrong on that. Someone correct me. But the game for the Xbox, not bad. Like it was actually quite decent. Good
and the Lego one too. Don't forget.
Right. Yeah. So there's been some stinkers, but I think Indiana Jones as a video game trademark or like just like a franchise, solid enough.
I agree. It was a really solid game. One thing that I would say that with Indiana Jones though was, is it going to be? I'm hoping it's going to be a first person player game. Like I hope it's just going to do first person only, and they're not going to try and put any online play into the game, because if they put that into Indiana Jones, that could kind of ruin it. So it's interesting to see what Xbox does here, because Xbox hasn't been the greatest at doing first player games. I'm hoping that Woody isn't dropping out. Oh, you're coming back.
Hear you?
Yeah, you're coming back. Yeah. So yeah, your internet's dropping in and out today. It's a pretty bad one. But anyway, I was just saying, I Xbox hasn't traditionally done a whole lot of these like single player games, and I hope that they kind of keep on this track, because like it looks like they've realized that there's a lot of people that like these type of games. And I hope they don't try and add online play and stuff like that to Indiana Jones.
No, I don't think they would do that to Indiana Jones.
Boy, oh, stranger things have happened.
yeah. I mean, but no, that I don't see that happening though. I don't see them really. Stranger things have happened, yes, but that seems a little too. That seems especially stupid.
Yeah,
I can understand making Suicide Squad a live action something or other, but Indiana Jones.
Yeah, no, that's true. And yeah, we like to drop a suicide bomb in every episode, so why not?
Oh, still going strong. Well, we can't talk about Power World anymore because no one is.
No one plays it, so yeah, just dump on Suicide Squad. Indiana Jones looks like it's very story based, very story driven. There's a lot of cutscenes and stuff by the looks of it, so they've put a lot of work into this game. I don't know how long they've been in development, but it really does look well polished and done. I think I can compare a lot of these games, these Xbox games, to the PlayStation lineup in some ways. Like Indiana Jones, it kind of looks like an Uncharted, obviously, for obvious reasons. And I think it's going to play like an Uncharted. Like Xbox always regretted not having Uncharted, so I feel like that's where they wanted something like that. So that's where they've gone with this. Another one that I wanted to talk about was Fable. Yeah, I really like the looks of this.
That looked great. I liked the intro, the guy talking there.
It's very much like Fable 3. I know that you haven't played Fable 3. It's like that's one of the ones that you haven't played. But the thing with this game, if you get a chance to go and watch the video clip of it, Fable, I think one is kind of like a bit more cartoony. And as they go through the fables, it kind of gets more realism into the games. But this new Fable game, and I don't know why they've called it Fable again. That's something I don't know. Why can't we call it Fable 4? Is it just a remake of Fable? I don't know. But this one here is very realism. It's almost Witcher type realism kind of going on.
When did Fable 3 come out? The third one.
I want to say 20 years ago.
Was it Xbox 360 or Xbox One?
360.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. That kind of says why they don't call it Fable 4, I guess.
Because no one remembers the first. But I'm hoping it's not a remake of Fable 1, because they've already remade that twice, or once. So I don't know. Potentially it's got the vibe of being a remake. The thing with this, the Fable, is that they did try to make a Fable where it was you versus. I remember watching the trailer for it after Fable 3, because I was mad into Fable 3. It was a Fable where it was an online Fable game where you played as the boss, and then 3 or 4 other people would try and kill you. It was like, but for some reason it never got released. And I think around that time that Xbox bought out the Fable studio, and then a couple of years ago I saw another Fable trailer, and then that game never got released either. So hopefully this Fable game does get released. That's one thing I'd like to say about this. But there's been at least 2 other Fable games before this that have never been released. So I don't know why or what's happening there. But yeah, Fable 3, I think that's one that you should play though. I think, yeah.
Well, I'm hoping I play the new Fable, like you said. I hope it gets released. I mean, it looks good. It looks expensive. It looks like they, put time and money into it. So let's hope it gets rolled out.
Yeah. No, I agree. Other games that you were interested in?
Okay. Interest might be a weird word for it, but I watched the Perfect Dark trailer.
Yeah.
Now, it looks good.
Mm.
It looks like a good, competent, cyberpunky gadgets, first person, HUD, bad guys, detective vision kind of thing. But it didn't feel like Perfect Dark. And I'm talking 99 Perfect Dark. Well, 2000 Perfect Dark, I should say.
I thought it looked like they tried to make, again with the PlayStation linking, but was it Dexter's Human Revolved? Like it.
Oh, Deus Ex.
Yeah, Deus Ex Human Evolved. Like it looks like they've kind of tried to make something comparable to that. And they've kind of stolen a few ideas from that game or borrowed ideas.
But to be fair, I mean, the original Deus Ex, I want to say, came out in 97.
Yeah.
And Perfect Dark was 2000. Both cyberpunk games. Not the first ones, but, both cyberpunk games. So I'm sure there's, some liberties. I mean, how many dystopian, wet, rainy, streets with neon advertisements everywhere can you have, really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all the same idea. It looked good, but another thing that also bothered me was, and I can't believe I'm saying this publicly, I hope there's a multiplayer component.
Oh.
Right?
Who are you okay?
Hey, I'm not talking about online stuff. I'm talking about like 4-player, split screen, couch, pizza on the table. Does anyone need a refresh? All right, good, because we're doing this. We're playing with bots on this one, kind of multiplayer.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I'm hoping it's just a single player game, but I can see where you're going with that. That's just not for me.
I would. Well, Perfect Dark had a great single player. You know what I mean? It, like awesome, and I hope that carries over. But I hope they remember that Perfect Dark was also a multiplayer game.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't play the original Perfect Dark, so that's.
And I never played Perfect Dark Zero, the 360 one. So there's that.
I guess it wouldn't be an Xbox showcase if they didn't have some kind of Gears of War thing, because it's been a few whiles now between we got from the last Gears of War thing through to now, and they've got this E-Day one coming out, which I liked the trailer. I thought it looked a little bit different to their traditional Gears of War. It looked more story driven and less just go into this room and shoot a whole heap of crap. It looked a lot different. But I mean, it could be trailers are sometimes hard to understand what they're trying to show you in the game. There's sometimes the trailers they'll show you like bits and pieces, and you think, oh, that's got more story, and then you get to the game and you're like, that was all the story in the trailer. But
one little, did you catch the Easter egg? Not an Easter. Well, yeah. Did you catch the Easter egg?
No.
Way back in 2006, or maybe even 2005, when they had the reveal trailer for Gears of War, and this was during the time where like games started to get reveal trailers.
Yeah.
Cinematic cutscenes that weren't in the game, or anything like that. Usually, and this one was really good. What it is Marcus Phoenix. He's like walking down like a road. He picks up like a statue's head. All of a sudden, he sees those big Brumac things. He starts shooting at it. Not a word is spoken throughout the trailer, so it's kind of ahead of its time. But the musical score for it was Mad World by I can't remember the guy's name, but it's from the Donnie Darko soundtrack. If you listen
Oh
to Donnie
yeah.
Darko, it's that version of Mad World. And it was cool for the time. I was like, oh my god, they're using the Donnie Darko song. Watching it. And I was watching the E-Day thing, and you hear it kind of remixed at the end, the little piano part.
Ah.
And I was like, ooh, that's cool. Going because in E-Day, similarly, they had a really strong cutscene. Not too many words spoken. It was just like a scene.
Yeah. And
pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I always liked Gears of War, but I think they let it down. The series fell down a bit after about Gears of War 3. It kind of fell away. So hopefully this is a return to some of the better Gears of War stuff that we saw over the years.
Gears of War at this point is just popcorn. I mean, it's Gears of War is like pizza. It might just be pizza, but pizza's always good.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking, well, what do you want to talk about? Flight Simulator?
I want to talk about the game that's got to move Xboxes. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. All right.
I knew.
To be fair, though, we joke, but Flight Simulator does have its dedicated fan base.
Oh yeah.
And from what I've heard, it's a good flight simulator. It's what you would want. Oh, if you're gonna fly this type of plane, this game will make it. Everything will act like you're flying a plane. So that's good. But I always like how that's just a series that keeps going.
I think it's the way that they've modeled the world beneath you is so amazing. Like flying over the pyramids in Egypt, or like flying around different parts of the world is like pretty amazing. So, and I also think, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't played a whole lot of Flight Simulator, but you can choose what year you're playing the game. So you can go back in time. So you can go, hey, I want to go and fly a plane around the world in 2001, or example, and then it will change the world to suit this 2001 environment. And then you'd only get given the planes from that era as well to fly, because they did put a ban. People were turning it back to that year. This has got the 9/11 vibe again. And
God! I was connecting the dots in my head. I was like, I got to talk about another game quick. References in the same podcast.
And people were flying the planes into the trade center. But Microsoft made it like if you do that, you get permaban from the game. So, yeah, because they didn't want it to be that part of the game. So, okay,
yeah.
Anyway, that's my. I'm trying to stay off that topic. I'm going.
What I would do is I would do it in 1976, but I want to fly the same plane that DB Cooper flied. You ever hear that story? He was a guy that hijacked a plane, got a bunch of money, jettisoned out of the airlock or something like that.
Yeah.
And they never found him.
Oh, okay.
They did find some of the money. It was on fire. It had burned. I think it was because it was going so fast. It may have lit flame while it was falling from the sky because it was in big bunches.
Yeah.
But yeah, something like that. That's what I would recreate in Flight Simulator.
I think I don't know. I think it's a cool game. And I actually have played a little bit of it, and I think the only thing that stops me from keeping it is it's so damn big. Like it's 150 gig or something worth a game. So it's such a big game. And then every time you add, so if you go back in time or different things, you're getting another 30 or 40 gig worth of downloads to go to different eras and things like that. So it's a lot of, you're probably looking at 1 billion gigabytes to have the whole game. I don't know. It's a lot. It's big.
Did you ever play Age of Empires at all?
Age of Empires? No, that was never my thing.
Did you see the trailer for Age of Mythology?
Yeah.
Restored, Retold.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I never got into that too, but it seemed like all my friends in high school were into Age of Empires, and I was a Command and Conquer guy, so I could never really get into it.
It was like one of the first games I did at the game showcase, so it must have a big fan base. Like, it must be like I don't know. I know a lot of people that are super hooked on Age of Empires and stuff like that. So I feel like there's a different fan base, but there's a lot of them.
One of my friends would always put the cheat codes in, and he'd put like sports cars and stuff in the game. I was like, come on.
Oh, you have to. I think you have to. But there was a couple of really older games that I like. Fable was one that hasn't been around for a long time. Come back. When was the last Stalker 1? When was that? When did they release that?
Seriously. See, the thing with Stalker was too, and Stalker's one of my biggest regrets. I own it, and I really got to buckle down and like experience the game.
Yeah.
Because I've heard nothing but good things. But I was never a PC gamer. So it was never came out on console, so I never got to experience it. But everything I've heard about Stalker has been positive.
Yeah, me too.
So I almost like I didn't watch the Stalker 2 reveal because I still want to try to get into Stalker 1. You know, like so that way I can actually look.
But that was quite an old game too. So they're bringing back a couple of these old franchises. That's what I was trying to say. Like, I think that's at least 10 years old from Stalker 1. I'll have to Google that stuff, but I think that one. And the other one that was an older game that kind of I was not expecting to see again I don't know why I wasn't expecting it, but Dragon's Age, the new Dragon's Age game, why is that back? Why is that back? But the first ones were really, really good. So I'm interested to see how this plays. Like Dragon's Age, the first Dragon's Age, I remember playing that for hours upon hours. But then all of a sudden, they've got this new one. Now, that was a top-down game, but then when they showed the new Dragon's Age here, they just showed it as all the cinematics. So I'm not sure if you're going to be playing the new Dragon's Age in first-person view or if you're going to be playing it in top-down view. Were you ever a Dragon's Age fan?
Not really. Like, and that's another one of those games I should, because BioWare made it. I like BioWare, but no, never.
The first Dragon's Age was phenomenal. It was, I think the reason it was so good, it was one of the first games that it had like 3 different classes, and then if you played all of those 3 different classes, you got different endings for each of the classes. Where I don't know if any other game had different endings via different classes. So I don't know. It was really cool.
I mean, that didn't grab me because I just don't know the franchise that well.
Metal Gear Solid, Snakes.
That grabbed me somewhat because at first I didn't know if it was a remaster or a remake. So I was kind of like watching it just to be like, is it like, I don't, from what I can tell, it looks like a remake. It looks like they built it ground up again. I enjoyed Metal Gear Solid 3 back in the day. I thought it was a really good game. It was cool. There were some cool moments to it. The whole arc with the boss was great. The battle with the end was a bit annoying. I mean, some people love it. I didn't.
Yeah. I don't know. It looks like they did a really good job remaking it.
Yeah, no, it looks really good, and it's one of the stronger Metal Gear. Some think it's the biggest one.
I wonder how it'll go, because we talked about this, I don't know, 5 or 10 episodes back, and stealth games seem to have died really hard. So I'm wondering if they've added like things for people to understand the game better, to get through the game better, or what they've done, because stealth games were really hard. So yeah, I don't know if this new generation of players are going to put up with how hard they are.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like Metal Snake Eater when it came out, that was when stealth games were like, an establishment
Mm.
genre.
Yeah.
That's during the height of when Splinter Cell was still coming out with strong games.
Yeah.
I think they were only 2 games in at that point.
Mm-hmm.
There were other games too. I'm sure if like we looked deep into it, because that's PS2 original Xbox territory. So there are a lot of stealth games, and it stuck out because the name of Metal Gear, of course, means something.
Yeah. No, I agree. That was the go with Metal Gear. But I come back to me, Woody. Come back.
I'm right here.
Okay.
Right.
I thought you were going weird again.
Yeah. Fair warning. I've been seeing a lot of maintenance people around my neighborhood the last couple days. I think they might be working on like the internet or something, like the wires and stuff.
I got the feeling as soon as we started doing this episode that something like that might be going down because we've had some weird.
I haven't noticed it too bad until I started talking to you.
Yeah. Let's see. Only when you're connecting with Australia it happens. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's not the fact that we're like, this far apart.
Then why Assassin's Creed Shadows set in China? I thought it looks okay. It looks like every other Assassin's Creed game.
Right? Yeah.
Did it grab you? Did you say, "Oh, geez, I need to go and buy that game"?
Nope. The last one I needed to buy was Assassin's Creed 3, and that's just because it was local. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I bought on a whim. I bought
Black
that
Flag
because
was amazing.
I had just gotten a PlayStation 4. I think it would have been 4 at that point. And that was one of the first games I got for it. So it was my new PlayStation 4 game, and that was a great game.
Yeah,
I love that game. But even that game, I really wasn't like, yes, Assassin's Creed, I got to play this. So yeah, no, this had not grabbed. This don't grab nothing, unfortunately.
Yeah, I didn't. I looked at it and thought, oh, it looks okay. It looks. I don't know, like every other Assassin's Creed. We just changed the environment. I really liked it when they brought the RPG aspect to Assassin's Creed. I enjoyed Assassin's Creed Origins, but that was to me the biggest step they had done for years, and I really liked it. But then the ones that followed that, I feel like they were too similar, different story, different. Yeah. I just want to know, why can't they if they're going to release Assassin's Creed every year, here's a thought process. Make it about a quarter of the size of the game so it doesn't feel so repetitive. We enjoy the story and just pump them out every year or two. Instead of, I feel like a lot of these bigger games, and Assassin's Creed is probably one of them, we just seem to get 60 hours of game, but 20 or 40 of that is just repetitive crap that we just give us the first 20 hours and then that's enough. I'd be happy with that. Make the worlds a bit smaller.
Going back playing like Assassin's Creed 1. When was the last time you played the first Assassin's Creed?
I hated the first Assassin's Creed. I swore I'd never play another Assassin's Creed again.
But there's not a lot you do in that game.
Yeah.
There really isn't. Like there's like Eagle Eye locations, but that's it. Other than that, you're just hunting down these dudes and killing them.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, like the original Grand Theft Autos, the size of the map was critical. Like the new one that's coming out soon, it's going to be so big that it's going to take me 6 years to play all through the map, And I don't want that now in my life. I just bring me Vice City again, where it's just the best size map. That's the perfect size map for me. We could argue about this all day, but yeah. The other game that really grabbed me, and it was South of Midnight. It does look a little bit like an Xbox's version of doing a Horizon Zero Dawn type thing, but I really love Horizon Zero Dawn, so I can live with that. But I mean, they don't have the mechanical monsters, but they've got the female protagonist. They've got a world that's kind of looks like you're exploring it similar to Horizon Zero Dawn.
Well, it's got the Mississippi Delta setting, which is
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, I like that
That'll
setting.
be interesting.
Yeah. I don't know what the story is, but it's got a little bit of that vibe of apocalyptic world with weird monsters that I by the looks of it, it's probably like radioactive or something that's created the monsters to be bigger and badder than they're meant to be. But it looks really, I don't know, it's a cool looking game. You've also got the climbing like up buildings like they do in Horizon Zero Dawn. That was another thing that it's like very Tomb Raider-esque, but yeah, I don't know. I just really like the looks of it. That's definitely one that I'll put on my things to buy.
Did you ever play We Happy Few? Because it's made by the same people that made that.
We Happy Few. I don't. Oh yeah, I didn't like that game. Now you've ruined it for me.
Hey, just plenty of developers have games you like and you don't like. So,
it wasn't badly made, that game. I didn't love the story in that game so much. I guess I mean, it didn't grab me and drag me into that game. So it depends on how slow the start is on this one, I guess.
one game that caught my eye was Atom Fall.
Yeah.
It's like an open world survival horror thing that takes place in just like an English Hamlet. But after a nuclear accident, they never explained what the nuclear accident was. Or at least in the trailer I watched, they didn't.
Yeah.
The clip, but that looks really nice. I'm gonna definitely keep my eye on that one.
Yeah, I was like, this is honestly the best lineup of Xbox games I've seen for a very, very long time.
Yeah, no, it's what they needed. I mean, admittedly, all the games we talked about today, they could flop. They
Yeah.
could be horrible. They could be shit.
Except for
They could
Indiana
be.
Jones. Indiana Jones better not flop, or I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah. But just like that's not the point of the show. The showcase is to grab attention, to let people know we got games. Here are some games.
Yeah,
And that's what it should be.
We're Xbox. We're back to making games instead of just making a console that can do anything.
Right. And
yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I think this is one of the best ones in a while.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, the top 3 for right now, I'll go with Doom, Atom Fall, and probably Fable, but I'm gonna give an honorary mention to Perfect Dark.
Yeah. So
if I had to choose between Fable and Perfect Dark, I would probably go Fable.
Yeah, see, I'm doing completely opposite to you. I'm playing Indiana Jones, then I'm probably gonna go Fable, and obviously the other one after that was South of Midnight. That really grabbed me. So yeah.
I thought your third pick was gonna be Flight Simulator.
It is up there. It is up. There was a couple of obscure ones too. I forgot to mention with the Mecha Break. That was one that you liked the looks of. It was the one where you're flying robots going around shooting people. Kind of a bit obscure and weird. There was a couple of if you get a chance, go and have a look to a lot of the different games.
I mean, so much got announced that I really haven't had time to just dig in. And of course, I'm going to look at the ones I want to watch first and then get to the other stuff.
That's how it is. And obviously, do you like, okay, let me just finish on this. Do you like when they, for example, Elder Scrolls, the Golden Road, I'll get there. It's 10 years from Elder Scrolls Online, so they did an announcement of DLC that's coming, and then Diablo 4 had an announcement of DLC that's coming. I don't know. I'm not that big on DLC announcements. I just
honestly, I am. They should be announced, and they should have like gravitas. but I don't think they should be looped into the games that are coming out. You know what I mean? I think new releases and DLC, even if it's a huge DLC release, like an overhaul of the game, I don't think those should be in the same category.
Yeah, but maybe that's where it is. I just don't like it. Like, oh, here, check out this, and then you find out at the end it's just Diablo DLC, and you're like, it's just such a letdown. Oh, here, especially when they don't tell you to the end of the little clip. Oh, this is just some DLC, and you're like, yeah. That's just one that really drives me nuts.
Because at the end of the day, yeah, you can't play that DLC, but you can play that game. So gameplay-wise, there's no reveal.
Yeah.
You're still playing the game, the controls are the same. So it's cool. Like, I've gotten hyped for DLC announcements for decades now, but I don't think they should be really included in the game showcase.
Yeah, no, that's where I'm at too. I'm just, please don't do that Xbox, because it really, like, we've got Diablo. What did they do?
Diablo, Fallout, Elder Scrolls.
No, well, Diablo, Warcraft, Sea of Thieves, Fallout 76, Elder Scrolls, and so that's like 5 of their so many games that they were at least DLC, which is, I mean, you could have just done the other games without putting the DLC on there I know, I would have been more hyped. And also, if I like that other game, like say I'm a Warcraft person, I'm going to go and find that DLC announcement on its own. Like, it'll probably put it in the game when I get into the game. Hey, new DLC coming, watch the video here. And then hype the people up instead of, I guess they're trying to draw more people to that game or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you get the main events, you got to watch the mid card first, and I guess that's what the DLC is.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it was really exciting. I was pumped for a lot of these trailers. I'm pumped to see Xbox coming back. I'm pumped to see Xbox making games, because they own enough.
Everyone loves a comeback story,
They own enough development studios. They need to start making games with these studios. You can't just buy them and close them down.
I'm just going to say this, though. Microsoft has a chance right now. I sure hope they don't blow it.
Yeah. We can't end on a negative like that.
Okay, and then how about this? Well, it was pretty negative. Never mind. I won't say that. Microsoft does have this chance now to go back, because at one point Microsoft was the hot stuff. They even stole some of Sony's thunder, at least in certain markets. And I don't see any reason why they can't do it again. They are that capable, and these games look like they're gonna rock.
I agree. Period. Okay. Period out. Goodbye. Thanks for